About more people connecting. Omar, would you mind?
So my brother had to help. I had to try to pay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
More or less, I found out when
On top or
trying to be on a plane or something. So I knew, yeah. But then I had to do this. It's scary going in a foreign country alone. Not be able to speak Portuguese.
Actually, just like
And
that
then
is fine.
once I got to
just like this?
Yeah,
That angle right there?
yeah.
Just like.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna join it.
Alright, cool.
Hello out there in Ustream land. This is Governor Wildstar. I'm here with Cindy Sheehan, the notable activist, anti-war activist, who is also running as the Peace and Freedom Party candidate for Governor of California next year, in 2014. Here she is, Cindy Sheehan. Would you mind saying hi?
Hi.
So we're here in, what's this, Darby Park?
Yep,
Darby Park in Inglewood, California, and it's a beautiful day, and we're just out here enjoying the sunlight, and figured we'd talk to Cindy for a moment and see if we can ask her a few questions. Cindy, thank you so much for speaking with me, by the way.
No problem. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me. As a anti-war activist and representative of the Peace and Freedom Party, could you tell us a bit more about yourself and what the party
Can
represents?
those ladies go on the other side of the table? They're kind of distracting me. Nancy, could you guys go on the other side of the table? Because we're doing an interview and it's kind of distracting me.
Just wanted to make sure we can hear the sound.
Yeah, let me go ahead. Sorry, I can start over. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
We don't have to start over. We can, whatever.
Edit.
Yeah, we'll keep going. This is why we
So as a
freestyle.
member of the Peace and Freedom Party, you were asking me, and candidate for governor.
Yes, as a representative of the Peace and Freedom Party, for those out there that aren't familiar with its platform or what it represents, or you as a person, would you mind informing them a bit?
Should I talk to the camera or to you?
To them,
Okay.
as well as
So hi. I am an anti-war activist. My son was killed in Iraq in April 2004, and we were always against the wars. But after he was killed, I started to try and make connections with other people who felt the same way I did. And I got involved in the protests and trying to hold George Bush and Dick Cheney accountable. In '05, I went to Crawford, Texas, where George Bush had a vacation ranch, and I set up a camp there, and I wanted him to answer me what noble cause did he kill my son for, and millions of other people. And he never met with me. We never got that answer. And of course, there's no noble cause for war. There's no ever, ever, ever. But it wasn't a question that energized a lot of people. And then when Barack Obama when the Democrats came back in power in '06, they were, electorally got the, what's that called? Majority in the House of Representatives. Nancy Pelosi became Speaker of the House, and they refused to hold George Bush and Dick Cheney accountable. They refused to end war funding. So then I ran against Nancy Pelosi in San Francisco in '08 for peace and justice, and I came in second against Nancy Pelosi.
Wow.
And so last year I ran for vice president with the Peace and Freedom Party, and our
With
platform,
Roseanne Barr, right?
yeah, and our platform is basically we're a feminist, socialist, environmentalist party. And so we want society organized around the people, not around the corporations, not around Wall Street, not around a federal government that is hostile to us and pro the police state and pro these corporations and the military industrial complex and things like that. So I'm running for governor of California because I think that as a third party or independent, people who want peace, want justice, want environmental sustainability, we need to get out of the paradigm of the war party, the party for Wall Street, the party of the big banks, and that's the Democrats and the Republicans. They might as well be the same party. So Jerry Brown he keeps saying California is back. California is back for the 1%. It's back for big oil. It's back for the prison industrial complex. It's, you know, back for these forces that we've been struggling against for a long, long time. And so I want it back for everybody. You know, Occupy made the 1 and the 99% kind of you know, accepted terminology. And I want it to be the 100%.
Absolutely.
Instead of 1% owning 90% of all the resources, I want 100% of the people owning 100% of the resources.
Yeah, that would be great. I believe we all can agree to that.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm running, because I never really run against Republicans, although Republicans are in my same race. People on the left, where I am on the left, most of them understand how bad the Republicans are, but we have to get everybody to understand that the Democrats are the same.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I run against Democrats when I do this.
Great.
And it's part of my ongoing activism. I think political activism and organizing goes hand in hand with social activism and organizing. And so elections only happen every 2 years or so, and the real work happens in between the elections.
Absolutely. And as an activist, I mean, there's tons of ways that you can get involved with protests and march on the local level as a representative of public, you know, pursuing public office and representing the people. Is there any events or any issues that you get involved with on the grassroots level to attack?
Oh, lots and lots of issues. I'm particularly interested in, of course, peace. We had a big anti-Syria intervention rally in Sacramento. Monsanto, I'm against Monsanto. If I was governor of California, they would not be allowed to operate in California, and the executives of that company would be held accountable for poisoning for poisoning our children and our crops and our air and our water. You know, I think that energy production we should phase out of fossil fuels, and Jerry Brown has expanded fracking licenses, and we should phase into clean, renewable, sustainable forms of energy and better, safer, and more reliable public transportation. I just rode my bike from California to Washington, D.C. this year talking about these issues.
Wow.
I'm now planning a bike ride from from the border of Northern California down to Southern California to meet with as many people as I can to talk about these issues. Education is a huge priority, ending the prison industrial complex. So I go to rallies that support people-driven, people-centered institutions, not from the top down, but from the bottom up. So those are just a few of my issues that I'm very dedicated to. And I really think that we need to address the prison industrial complex before, the prison industrial complex is important.
Definitely.
But the military industrial complex sucks the life out of our country, out of our community. It's destroying the planet. And instead of devoting trillions of dollars to that, it's not about we don't have enough resources, it's about priorities. And we have to prioritize to change the world, because if we keep going the way we're going, you know, there's not going to be civilization for my grandchildren, and that's not acceptable to me.
Looking at chemtrails in the sky, and it's a beautiful
we are
day,
by the airport.
Right here behind you. Look at that. It's a big low one right
And
there.
I just want to say something about California. I was born just a few miles from here in Inglewood. I've been lifelong California resident. I grew up in a California where good education was free, and it was accessible, and it was good. You know, I tell my kids, they think I'm like an old codger going, You know, I'm like, we didn't have to pay for driver's ed. We didn't have to pay for music. We didn't have to pay for field trips. We didn't have to pay to ride the bus. You know, and we had art, and we had music, and we had drama, and we had sports. We had a well-rounded education. So it's been done before. We can do it again. California can lead this nation in peace, sustainability, community activism, you know, environmental health. I mean, we could be the role model.
Absolutely.
Or the roadmap
Yeah.
to this for the rest of the blueprint for everything. And my party is also, we're the Peace and Freedom Party, so we're big on issues of the police state. We want to disband the NSA, the CIA, all those IA things, or all those alphabet agencies for freedom.
No better acronym.
Peace and freedom.
Speaking of the police state, I mean, my wife and I, we have a plane going by. We're just going to get it in a second, but what I was saying was, speaking of the police state, my wife and I just have been victims of police brutality and police abuse just for exercising our constitutional rights. And I mean, it's safe to assume that their rights or their abuses of authority come from.
I believe that, and I think that the police are out of control because of a lack of accountability. And you know, the police unions, the prison guard unions, they all have the politicians in their back pockets, but they don't have this one in their back pocket.
Sure.
And so our platform is to overturn any kind of law enforcement a Bill of Rights, which gives them more rights than we have, which is bullshit.
Why do they need another Bill of Rights? They're already people. They're already covered by the Bill of Rights.
It would be citizen review boards, and that have that the police forces have accountability to. And you know, I want to protect the children and members of this state, citizens of the state, from the police and from the military.
Yes.
And we have to understand that it's not just people of color that are being abused anymore. It's mostly people of color, but you know, I've been arrested over 20 times and I've been abused by, you know, and I can pass for a conservative Republican, but I get still abused by the cops. And it's not just an issue for communities of color. You know, these oppressions, these institutional acts of racism and violence are spreading.
Absolutely.
And you know, we have to, in our own communities, we have to overcome this racism that we have and apathy, saying what's not happening to us is happening, you know, over there. And we have to, you know, tear down the walls of this racism and apathy and fear.
Absolutely.
You know, if there's millions of us working together, we don't have to be afraid of the 1%
Not at
anymore.
all. Not ever.
And so they use their police force, they use their propaganda media, they use their government, they use every tool at their disposal to keep us oppressed and keep us in fear.
Yeah.
And that's what's so important about these gatherings and working together to tear down those walls.
Absolutely. One of the biggest issues of fear that's been propagandized by our government and, you know, delivered to us as citizens is their war on drugs.
Right.
Specifically marijuana, when
Right.
it's been discovered by doctors that it has medicinal values as far as curing cancer. Right.
Right.
So living in a pro-marijuana state such as California, what will be your role as governor to help promote those that advocate decriminalization?
You know, and of course the political establishment is against decriminalization, you know, because Brown is a servant of the prison industrial complex, and many of the people who are currently trapped in prison are there for marijuana or nonviolent,
Right.
and they can't get out. And Brown has has been ordered to release them, and he won't release them.
Yeah.
So we have to, my party is for total decriminalization, and we as a state have to stand against the feds and say you can't come in and raid our dispensaries, you can't come in and raid our growers, because the people of the state of California have spoken.
Right.
And you know, our voice is more important than your voice.
Absolutely. Like
And so that's what I would be. I would be the governor saying, you know, no, you're not welcome in in our state.
And Colorado and Washington have recently passed in their last election.
Even more advanced than California.
Yeah, exactly. You would think that we would be the trendsetter for that.
But there was in 2010, wasn't there a decriminalization measure on the fail? Because of all the money that is arrayed against it, all the power arrayed against it.
Yeah.
But you would think that that would be a no-brainer in California. Oh yeah, sure. You know, we're all going to go vote for it, but that's not what happened.
It's just like Prop 37 that was defeated by Monsanto because of, you know,
they gave $8 million to
campaigning. Exactly. So it was defeated in California, but is there anything that you would definitely do as governor to help fight against genetically modified?
Yeah, that's what I just said. Monsanto and their poisons wouldn't be allowed in our state, and their executives would be held accountable for what they. Monsanto is one of the most evil corporations in the world. They're responsible for Agent Orange, PCBs, these genetically modified Roundup. You know, their products are killing the honeybees, and you know that's not
linked with black water too.
Linked with black water. Yeah, and so they have a lot of power, but they have a lot of money. But we have to convince the people of this state that we have more power than they do.
Absolutely. As a person that is very excited and very proud of his constitutional rights and inherent rights as a citizen living here in America, and I do my best to promote the positivity amongst the community with regards to homelessness and hunger. As a representative of the Peace and Freedom Party, is there anything that Californians can look forward to and expect from you as a governor? Like, what would that future of California look like under Cindy Sheehan?
My party is very devoted to civil rights too, but we also recognize human rights. And we think that education, healthcare, housing, healthy food, clean water, clean air are human rights. And everybody is entitled. They're not privileges for the 1%.
Exactly.
So that's what we would work for. We would work for this revolution, and that's all it is a revolution to you know, like I said, build 100%, 100% of people owning 100%.
Yeah, it takes
of the
100% of us to make it happen.
And you just think, if we're like talking about the 99% versus the 1%, if there was 100 people in this park and one person was being an asshole, 99 people wouldn't allow that.
Absolutely.
And so we could have 99 million people
We would love
working together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, peace out.
Yes. Meet the right and left wing. We're here with Cindy Sheehan again. That interview with Governor Wildstar. Thank you for tuning in. And make sure to check her out running for governor of California for the Peace and Freedom Party 2014.
We have a website too, cindy2014.org.
Thank you.
Very simple.
Yeah,
Thank
you can't
you,
forget
Governor.
that, huh?
Cindy 2014.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.